It's now been 2 months since the India-China standoff began near the line of actual control. Ladakh is now witnessing a massive military deployment. India's Air Force is now in top gear with never-seen-before air operations. India Today's Manjeet Negi brings us this super exclusive report.
It's been over 2 weeks since the bloody Galwan clash and 2 months since India's biggest recent military standoff began. Ladakh, since then, has witnessed a massive, unrelenting increase in deployments in forward areas. On Friday came Prime Minister Modi's strongest ever message to China from Leh Ladakh. And now, India's air power muscle on full unapologetic display. You're looking at frontline fighter jets in the combat zone. Making the nation's intent clear, India won't back down.
We have seen Air Force have deployed all its fighters, including Su-30, Mirage 2000, MiG-29, also helicopter like Chinook and Apache on forward bases. The preparedness suggested that Air Force is fully ready to go for any operation against the enemy.
India's fighter jets are in the skies over Ladakh on combat air patrols, prowling for trouble, sending out a clear message. Other aircraft are being used to carry equipment and troops into the area at short notice. This is an Indian Air Force MiG-29, a twin-engine fighter jet. Fast, super agile and armed with lethal air-to-air missiles, a terrible enemy to make in the air. The Sukhoi 30, an air dominance jet with a formidable ability to outflank the enemy. From transporting arms and ammunition to monitoring and surveillance, air operations near Ladakh's combat zone have never seen this kind of tempo.
चीन से लगने वाली भारत की सरहद पर भारत के हजारों सैनिक तैनात हैं, जिनके लिए वायुसेना अहम भूमिका निभाती है, खासतौर से फॉरवर्ड पोस्ट पर सैनिकों को पहुंचाने से लेकर उनके हथियार, राशन की अहम जिम्मेदारी होती है। और इसी तरह से चिनूक, अपाचे, चेतक, चीता जैसे हेलीकॉप्टर से मुश्किल हालात, खराब मौसम के बावजूद एयरफोर्स के एयर वॉरियर इन मिशन में लगातार लगे रहते हैं।
The Air Force's new AH-64E Apache attack helicopters, formidable for their eyes and weapons, capable of mounting stealthy attacks in the mountains from places where they can't even be seen. Originally from Punjab, they're loving the thin mountain air of their temporary operational home.
और इस वक्त अपाचे हेलीकॉप्टर चीन से लगने वाली सरहद पर तैनात है। यह हेलीकॉप्टर खासतौर से माउंटेन वॉरफेयर के लिए बेहतरीन माना जाता है। और इस वक्त यहाँ मौजूदा हालात में चीन सरहद पर खासतौर से एयर मेंटेनेंस और यहाँ पर जो सेना तैनात है उनकी मदद के लिए यहाँ पर तैनात किया गया है।
Alongside the Apaches are these American Chinooks, heavy-lift helicopters with those iconic tandem rotors. Now central to the Indian Air Force's air bridge, being used to rush men and materials at lightning speed, literally anywhere on the border. The Indian Air Force and the Army are in top gear.
Every air warrior at this base, and not only here, across the entire Indian Air Force, is fully trained and capable of meeting any challenges in front of them. Our Josh has always been high, and we will always touch the sky with glory.
Air power will play a very crucial role in this area, both in combat and combat support roles. We have all the resources in terms of men and machine to meet all the challenges.
With Manjeet Negi in Ladakh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, days after the centre banned 59 Chinese apps, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has now pitched for a self-reliant app ecosystem. Prime Minister Modi invited the startup tech community to participate in Atmanirbhar Bharat App Innovation Challenge. In a post on social media platform linked IN, Prime Minister Modi there said that challenge will not just help in ideation and incubation of new apps, but also provide support for existing apps. Meanwhile, in response to India's ban, TikTok distanced itself from Beijing. In a letter, TikTok's chief executive Kevin Mayer said that the Chinese government has never requested user data, nor would the company turn it over if asked. Coronavirus cases in Maharashtra is worsening by the day. In the biggest single-day spike, the state has now recorded 7,074 new cases in the last 24 hours, nearing the 2 lakh mark. The capital, Mumbai, has now started faring better than before. 1,163 cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. Total cases in Mumbai now stands at 83,237. Mumbai police on Saturday tweaked its 2-kilometer radius diktat imposed to curb needless travel during the coronavirus-induced lockdown and allowed people to move about the nearby neighborhood. Thane is the worst affected district in the state with 26,727 active cases, followed by Mumbai, Pune, Palghar and Aurangabad. Now, migrant workers are gradually returning to Mumbai as economic activity picks up. This comes due to the lack of job opportunities there back in their hometowns. Between June 1st and June 25th, Mumbai has seen as many as 4.8 lakh arrivals, according to Railways. Mustafa Sheikh brings us a ground report.
2 months ago, the lockdown and job losses forced hundreds of thousands of migrant workers to leave the city of dreams. Now, hundreds of them are returning to Mumbai as train service picks up. Most of them are industrial and power loom workers. Due to lack of opportunities in their hometowns and villages, they were left with no choice but to return to India's commercial capital.
वहाँ पे हालत बहुत खराब है।
कहाँ के हैं आप?
आजमगढ़।
क्या वहाँ पे लोग क्या कर रहे हैं जो यहाँ से मुंबई से गए लोग?
बैठे हैं फालतू जाके वहाँ पे।
सरकार की तरफ से कुछ सुविधा?
कुछ नहीं।
और भी लोग वापस आने की सोच रहे हैं?
सब लोग आने की सोच रहे हैं ना, गाड़ी फुल चल रही है ना इस समय।
गांव में तो कोरोना से बचने के लिए गए थे, लेकिन गांव में जाके बस खाने पीने की समस्याओं के लेके, पैसा के लेके, इसके लिए फिर वापस आना पड़ा। गवर्नमेंट के तरफ से क्या वही महीने का राशन 5 किलो प्रति एक आदमी के पीछे मिलता है। बस वही सुविधा हो, गैस वैस का पैसा नहीं लेते हैं।
Railways say more than 4,80,000 people have arrived in the Mumbai metropolitan region from June 1 to 25th. Out of them, nearly 2 lakh were from Uttar Pradesh, 83,515 from Bihar, and more than 78,000 from Punjab, Haryana, and Delhi. Government dealers are paying for their tickets and have assured the workers that they will arrange food and shelter for the migrant workers.
हमारे ग्राहक भी अब यहाँ पर धारावी में आना शुरू हो गए हैं, उनके फोन भी आ रहे हैं, ट्रांसपोर्टिंग चालू हुई है, जिसकी बिना पे अब यहाँ पर जो तैयार माल थे वो बिकना शुरू हो गए हैं। तो इसके लिए अब नया माल बनाने की जरूरत पड़ेगी। सब लोगों को काम मिलेगा, काम के साथ साथ आपकी जो भी व्यवस्थाएं रहेंगी, जो भी तकलीफें रहेंगी, उसके लिए हम आपके साथ बराबर के शरीक हैं।
All these migrants are saying that they have been called by their supervisors as there is employment now available due to unlock, and hence they are returning back to Mumbai and adjoining areas, Bhiwandi, power looms and other areas where there is industry and employment opportunity is again being provided. The livelihood and the life to start normally can happen only the industrial areas in Mumbai and adjoining, and then hence that's why they are coming back and all the trains are apparently full. In Kalyan with camera person Mangesh Amre, Mustafa Sheikh in Mumbai for India Today.
Cutting across to Tamil Nadu, Tamil Nadu has once again witnessed a big spike in COVID-19 cases in just the last 24 hours. 4,280 new COVID-19 cases were reported in the state, taking the total number in the state over 1 lakh. The state also witnessed 65 deaths in the last 24 hours. Out of the 4,280 cases, 1,842 cases were reported in the state's capital, Chennai. However, in some positive news, 2,214 patients were also cured of the virus. Meanwhile, Madurai has extended its intensified lockdown for 1 more week until July 12th. While in Chennai, from July 6th, hotels will be allowed to operate between 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. but only takeaway will be permitted. Grocery and vegetable shops to operate between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Except for shopping malls, all other shops will be allowed to function from July 6th. Now, the state of Karnataka will be under complete lockdown today in line with the recent state government's decision to take lockdown on Sundays. Only essential services will be allowed to function. Movement of people for regular work will not be allowed. This comes as state saw 1,839 new cases, COVID-19 cases on Saturday. Out of these, 1,172 new cases have surfaced from Bengaluru alone. The state also recorded 42 fresh deaths. As per the Health Ministry, the statement, in fact, given, the state has now recorded over 19,700 cases and over 290 deaths reported. Now, politics comes in the way of ICMR's letter that set a deadline of August 15th for the launch of COVID vaccine refuses to die down. Amidst this comes out, the ICMR comes with a clarification asserting that safety of people won't be compromised here. Here's our report.
After a day of radio silence, India's top medical research body, ICMR, has issued a clarification on the letter that set a deadline of August 15 for the launch of COVID vaccine. The ICMR says the safety of people will not be compromised while fast-tracking clinical trials. The research body argues the letter only meant to cut the red tape, but it is silent on why it set a deadline. As the ICMR letter became public, hospitals participating in the clinical trials say the entire process may not be finished in the time specified.
संभव है, लेकिन ये नहीं कि कोई 10 दिन या 15 दिन या महीने भर में रिजल्ट आ जाएगा, ये संभव नहीं है। बट ये है कि चीज़ों को जल्दी की जा सकती है, एक्स्ट्रा मैन पावर और एक्स्ट्रा रिसोर्सेज यूज करके फास्ट ट्रैक में डाला जा सकता है।
Out of the 12 centers selected for carrying out clinical trials, not all have got approvals from the ethics committee so far.
Without getting any ethical approval, definitely I will not make any comments on this, the timeline, etc. All these are ethical issues and it's still pending.
The opposition too has raised questions over the alleged haste in getting the vaccine cleared. The Congress and the left have alleged that the trials are being compromised to enable Prime Minister Narendra Modi to make a big announcement from the Red Fort.
Another very important issue that has not been addressed is how is ICMR looking to cut down on the red tapeism, and who now declares the ethical questions that are being raised by people. Since this vaccine will be issued and given to millions of people, the human trials now are raising massive safety concerns. And will ICMR be able to quell the questions that are being raised not just by the medical community but also now by the opposition? Milan Sharma reporting for India Today.
Many parts of the country witnesses heavy rains. Mumbai particularly sees no respite. Likely Mumbaikars to face heavy rains for the next 2 days as well. This comes as very heavy or extremely heavy rainfall is expected today. Mumbai's Colaba, Santa Cruz, Elphinstone, Sion reported very heavy rainfall on Saturday. Last evening, in just 9 hours, Mumbai's Santa Cruz reported 111.4 mm rainfall. Due to heavy downpour, waterlogging incident was also reported in many parts, at least 10 areas along the vicinity. Now let's take a look at our ground report filed by India Today's Vidya.
We are right now in the Parel area of Mumbai. This is where the Eastern Express Highway, which is right behind me, that you can see, crosses this entire area. And because of water inundation in these low-lying areas, the entire traffic almost has come to a halt. Although not many people are out on the streets, but whatever little are, they're getting stuck in this traffic jam because of water inundation in such low-lying areas. And here you can see these pumps being used by the BMC. For the past couple of hours, this pump has been on, and the BMC workers are on standby trying to see to it that the water is reduced somehow from these low-lying areas. But in spite of their best efforts, we are seeing vehicles that are inundated and gone down in water. And in fact, this entire area as of now has a lot of water inundation, and there is still some bit of rain, but everyone's just hoping that the rain stops so that water from this area goes down before the high tide really starts. With cameraman Sai Prasad Padal in Mumbai, Vidya for India Today.
About 350 elephants have died in southern Africa's Botswana in the last 2 months. It is one of the biggest disasters that elephants have faced in this century, is what is believed. The government has now ruled out any poaching because the carcasses have been found intact with their tusks on. The cause of death now remains a mystery.
Unprecedented crisis in Africa. Shock and horror amidst the coronavirus pandemic. There's another killer, and it's hunting these gentle giants. Hundreds of elephants have died mysteriously in Botswana's famed Okavango Delta, and nobody knows why. Local witnesses say some elephants were seen walking around in circles aimlessly, an indication of possible neurological impairment. But how did it happen? The COVID-19 induced lockdown is posing hurdles for the administration.
It is pretty close to being unprecedented in terms of a relatively large number of elephants dying without any clear cause for their death. Under present circumstances, with the lockdown caused by COVID-19, inevitably people are going to not be able to respond as quickly as they would otherwise be.
Anthrax, which is common in Botswana, but it's the wrong time of year for that, so that has been ruled out. And that we did have an outbreak in November of last year. So that was ruled out because we've since had good rains. And I'm sure the avenues being investigated are likely to be a bacteria infection or indeed a virus.
The world is rushing to find the reasons behind the mysterious killers of hundreds of these elephants. Samples are being analyzed at labs in South Africa, Zimbabwe and faraway Canada.
I can confirm that the government of Botswana responded swiftly to the ongoing elephant mortality in northern part of the country. Upon hearing that there are a number of elephants dying in the area, the district veterinary and wildlife team moved on to site, and they were shortly thereafter augmented by a team of experts from the head office.
The usual suspects, anthrax, poaching or human poisoning, have been ruled out, so it's an unknown pathogen and the world awaits answers. Botswana has long been a stronghold of Africa's remaining 400,000 elephants, boasting a third of the continent's population. While elephant numbers have widely declined in recent decades, largely due to poaching, Botswana's population has actually grown. And that's why these mysterious deaths are even more disturbing. Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.